Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's AWS storage session, we are going to talk about EBS, Elastic Block Store, one of the most important service you must understand for AWS Solution Architect exam and real-world EC2 use cases. We'll break down what block storage is, how EBS works, how volume attached to an EC2 instance, snapshots, ability zone restriction, cross-region migration, and all the different EBS volume types like GP3, IO2, ST1, SC1 and more. By the end of this video, we'll understand how exactly EBS work at architecture level. So without wasting time, we'll start what is block storage. So data is split into independent blocks and each block has a unique identifier and blocks are distributed across multiple physical disks and operating system C block as a storage as a volume. So OSC block storage as a volume and you can format it with file system like ext4, xfs, etc. And you can boot it and OS from it like it's bootable. So key exam concept here is block device can be both mountable and bootable. Next we'll see what is Amazon EBS. So it's basically a block level storage for EC2 instance and appear as virtual disk when attached to an EC2 instance. Important point here, it appears as a virtual disk when attached to an EC2 and support file system like ext3, ext4 and XFS. And fourth point is detachable, can move between EC2 instance in the same ability zone. So key point here, EBS is independent of the EC2 instance. So whether you can stop the instance or replace, EBS volume persists with the data intact. So if we stop or replace the EC2 instance, data will be persist. Next slide, what is why EBS is bound to ability zone. So every EBS volume is tied to a one ability zone. So note this point, every EBS volume is tied to one ability zone and each EC2 instance must also be in same ability zone. Here we are talking about single ability zone architecture and EBS internally replicates across multiple physical devices inside the ability zone. So it protects against hardware failure and not available of ability zone failure. So if the ability zone fails, you can lose access to the volume unless you have a snapshot. So here the important point, if the ability zone fails, you can lose the access to the volume unless you have a snapshot. So you have to have a snapshot for this, unless you will lose the data. Next, we'll see EBS workflow, volume workflow, how it's work. So it's very important. First, you have to create an EBS volume. So first step, we have to create a EBS volume and choose the ability zone. And inside that, we have to choose the size, type. Second step, you have to attach an EC2 instance. Here I will write all the points. First, you have to create a volume in an ability zone and choose the size, type. Second step, you have to attach an EC2 and you have to search for /dev /xpda etc. Same, the next step we have to migrate with the same ability zone. So if we detach volume and attach to another EC2 in the same ability zone. Fourth, migrate across using snapshot. So take a snapshot and save in S3 and create a new volume from snapshot in another ability zone. And then next step, we have to attach to EC2 in that ability zone. So here what I explained, when we have to migrate across ability zone. So we'll take the snapshot and save in S3 bucket, create a new volume from the snapshot in another ability zone and attach to an EC2 in that AZ. Next we'll see cross region migration. Here I explain this point. Uh, To move EBS between regions. So what is this cross-region migration? First, we'll take a snapshot and store in a S3 of source region. Then next step, we'll copy a snapshot to another region. And in the third step, we'll create a volume in destination region. And in fourth step, we'll attach to EC2 in that region. So simple snapshot equal to architecture for EBS migration. This point. Next slide, we'll see EBS volume types. So this is important. Uh, we have GP2, GP3, I1, I2. So first one SST, general purpose. So SST general purpose, we this come GP2 and GP3. So it's balanced price performance, good for most workload. And GP3, in exam the question come where we will use GP3. So it's predictable performance and cheaper. And GP2 performance increase with size. Next, we'll see STD volume types. In STD, we have ST1 and SC1. So ST1 is throughput optimized, and SC1 is cold storage and lowest cost. So these all differences are present in internet also. You can go through that. Now we have the magnetic volumes. So it's old generation volume types, low performance, 100 IOs, 1 GB to 1 TB size used for infrequent access. So, and now most important concept, EBS pricing. So you can pay per GB per month. Higher performance is equal to higher cost. Snapshot allowed build per GB and snapshot stored in Amazon S3. So in summary, what we have learned so far, EBS is equal to a block storage for EC2 instance. Volumes are ability zone bound. And snapshot migrates data to ability zone / partition. And choose GP3, IO2, ST1, S1 based on your workload. So that's all from this video. In the next video, we'll talk about another uh, storage concept, EFS, Elastic File System. So we'll move step by step. There is lots of, like, then we'll go through S3 bucket. We'll see all the concept, how it's work. So thank you. We'll see you in another video.